Hey guys, it's Matt with Memento Mori Marksmanship, and today we're doing standing, kneeling, prone. Okay, let's go. Okay, so for this drill you need a B8 Bullseye, you need a cardboard backing, a Sharpie marker, your rifle, and a range that goes out to 100 yards. And that's it. So let's talk about the course of fire. Task and purpose. So the course of fire goes as such. Starting at 100 yards, you're going to start in the standing position, and then on the buzzer, you're going to drop down into the prone and engage with 10 rounds. That's 10 rounds. You're doing this for time, the par time being, it's really up to you. I would say under a minute. Let's ballpark it 45 seconds, okay? Then you're going to walk up to the 50-yard line. At the 50-yard line, you're going to start in the standing position, and then on the buzzer, you're going to drop down to kneeling and engage with 10 rounds, okay? And then you walk up to the, par time for that, let's say 45 to 30 seconds, okay? And then we walk up to the 25-yard line, and then on the buzzer, we engage from standing, stay in standing, from the low ready with another 10 rounds, okay? Par time for that, let's say under 30 seconds, hopefully under 30 seconds. Let's call it 15 seconds, okay? So we went over the tasks. Now, what is the purpose? The purpose of this is to establish what Sheriff of Baghdad, Shrek McPhee, calls historical zero / also beaten zone, okay? And what that is essentially, you're going to take the amalgam of essentially a 30-round group between the 3 10-round groups that you've shot at prone, kneeling, and standing, okay? And you're going to establish, or I should say you're going to refine your zero. So for the purposes of this, you should have already zeroed your rifle. That seems fairly obvious, but if you haven't, then you need to do that first. Probably make another video later about what range you could zero your rifle at and why. But mine is zeroed at 50 yards, and again, we'll talk about that later. I think I'm good to go on explaining. We're just gonna hang a target and go ahead and do it. So before we start, we need to mark our cardboard backing. So cardboard backing here, right? This is kind of supposed to be like a ghetto version of a silhouette, a man-sized silhouette, USPCA silhouette that I didn't mark the shoulders yet, so who cares? But the idea being, okay, so when we actually shoot this target, I have my B8 Bullseye, and I'm going to staple it to the front of this cardboard target, or I'm sorry, the cardboard backing, okay? But before I hang my target, I flip over to the back side, and I establish where the center line is, where my target center actually is. Let's go ahead and use I center punch the center of my target. I flip it over. On the back, I'm going to draw a T-post or a cross. Okay? I'm super obsessive compulsive about straight lines, so I'm going to use a straight edge. You do not have to use a straight edge. You can do it by hand. It does not need to be super precise. just so that you can get, generally speaking, what we're looking for are quadrants, okay? Quadrants, 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? And when I shoot this target, okay, my B8 Bullseye will be over the top, okay? I shoot the target, I establish my groups, right? And then from that, I get my overall picture on where my point of impact is, okay? So we're getting a whole bunch of data on the maximum dispersion and most likely point of impact for my rifle. And that's including shooter error, that's including the lack of a zero or a bad zero on my rifle, okay? And from that, I find where I'm hitting the most, and I can then zero it back into the center, okay? So this is going to give me my last couple of clicks to absolutely perfectly, completely refine my zero. Again, you need to zero your rifle. You need to have your prone zero at your desired distance before you do this, and then you do this and you get that last couple of clicks, refining your zero all the way down. So we backed off to 100 yards. We're now going to do the prone portion of the drill. It's going to be 10 rounds from prone. Stand by. So, standing to prone, 10 rounds, par time, 45 seconds from 100 yards. Okay, 33.83, 10 shots, and well, I guess we're gonna find out later if those were good hits, so let's go. Now we've got standing to kneeling, 10 rounds, par time of 30 seconds. At 50 yards. I'm not very good at this one. So. Woo. Okay, barely made it in 29.08, and yeah, that I need to work on kneeling. Let me just say it, let me just put it that way. I'm not very good at kneeling. So now we have from standing at the low ready from 25 yards, 10 rounds with a par time of 15 seconds. That's 15.15. All right. Well, my timer says 14.68, but it may have counted the reload as a shot because I had it mounted to my gun. So let's go up and let's cry about it. So as far as scoring goes, we're gonna do it kind of like golf, right? So we have our X ring and we have our 10 ring, and each of those 10 ring X ring hits are worth 10, right? And everything outside of 10, 9 is -1, 8 is -2, and then we have like the dead space, which is like 7 or more. If it's off, then it's -5. If I can't see it at all, then it's -10. So, all right. Let me just make sure we actually have all of our hits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Okay, great. So we didn't miss the cardboard at all. We did miss the black twice, and I will bet you $1 that those were on the kneeling. 300 minus 2, 2, minus 4, minus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Is that 1? Yeah. 8, 9, 10, 11. So minus 11, 285 divided by 300 is 95%. Okay, so we got 95% on this guy. Would have been nice to have done better, but let's go back and do some analysis real quick. From this, the B8 Bullseye, we get a score, right? However, that's not necessarily the purpose of this test, this drill. What we're trying to do is, we're trying to establish a beaten zone, a historical zero, to refine the zero for our rifle all the way down to the most finite detail, right? Okay, so up, down, left, right, obviously. You flip it over, the left and right are flipped, okay? So when you look at this thing, you go, okay, most of my hits are low, most of my hits are to the left. What does that tell me? Obviously, I need to move up and to the right. Up and to the right. And that should bring this beaten zone, this group here, okay? Obviously, there are flyers, right? But this group here, okay, will get moved into the center. And from that, I'll just be a little bit more accurate, generally speaking. So, raise it up, move it to the right. And that is standing, kneeling, prone, and the beaten zone. Thanks for watching.